So therefore, the 15th day is celebrated as Purim. Do you understand? I'll give you an example. According to Jewish tradition, where were the Jews of Esther's time? What area were they in? They were in Persia. Medo-Persia. How did they get to Medo-Persia? How did the Jews get to Medo-Persia? The Medo-Persians conquered the Babylonian Empire. The Jews were taken to Babylon by King Nebuchadnezzar, and they went from Babylon to Medo-Persia when the Medo-Persians conquered the Babylonians. Right? That's how they wound up in Medo-Persia.
Iraq to Iran.
So yes, modern day Iran, yes, and parts of Iraq. So Shushan, where the account takes place, there are no stories in the Bible, was a city with a wall around it. So that to this day they say if we could take a city, trace it back to the time of Joshua, son of Nun, then in that walled city they celebrate Purim on the 15th of the month rather than the 14th. So can you give me an example of a walled city that goes back to the time of Joshua? Jerusalem. Jerusalem goes back to the time of Joshua. In those days it was known as Yevus and was inhabited by the Yevusim or the Yevusites. But it goes back, it was a walled city going back to the days of Yehoshua, son of Nun. So in Israel, when are they going to celebrate Purim? On the 15th. Not tomorrow, the day after. Amen? So it's called Shushan Purim. The 15th is called Shushan Purim. Tomorrow is called Purim. Okay, I hope you're taking notes. Tomorrow is called Purim. The 14th day of the 12th month. The 15th day of the 12th month is called Shushan Purim. Today is the 13th of the 12th month, Adar, which is, well, what happened today? Today was the actual day that the house of Judah in Medo-Persia, Shushan, was supposed to be executed. So today is what day? For all of you rabbinical Jewish fans. For all you fans of rabbinical Judaism. What day is today?
Like a preparation day.
13th.
More than that. What else
When
is
it
it?
was supposed to be destroyed?
It is Tzom. Very good. Write this down. Tzom Esther. What does Tzom mean? Yom Tzom Kippur Yechatemu Yechatemu. Brian, help me. Of Yom Tzom Kippur. What is Tzom? Fast. Today is the fast of Esther. So if you're fasting today, you've just got either heard from the Ruach or gotten lucky. Because if you're fasting today, that's Tov. That means you are keeping and observing the fast of Esther. So today you fast to remember the time when murder and genocide was decreed upon our people. And then tomorrow you let loose with a grand old party and party hardy saying that Haman is dead and Yahweh is alive. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So today is the fast of Esther. Forgive me, I should have told you that before you had your snack. So forgive me. I'm a little bit late. But it's not too late for Purim. Purim is a historical celebration of victory over foreign oppression and those who desire to kill the people of Israel. Both houses. Judaism, that's right, Judaism teaches, please take notes, 4 ways to celebrate Purim. These are 4 mitzvahs to experience the spirit of the season and the story. Number 1, reading the whole book of Esther. Okay, it's called, you ever hear it? I think it's even made its way into the English language.
Sure it did.
Please, you ever go to a newspaper and read a friend a story from a newspaper or an article? And sometimes their response may be something to the effect of, don't read the whole Megillah. It's found its way into the English language. The Megillah means the whole, just get to the point. Don't go the whole Megillah. Okay? I'm not talking about Megillah Gorilla on the old TV program. No, Megillah kidding. Don't read me the whole Megillah. Tell me the brief, get to the point.
You mean the Reader's Digest voice?
So the whole Megillah means the whole 10 chapters. Are you going just tell me that no, don't read the whole Megillah. On Purim we read the whole. That's the first mitzvah. The second is shalach manot, sending gifts. The third is matanot le'evyonim, or gifts to the poor. It's going to be a beautiful day to take up our monthly tzedakah offering, because we're going to give gifts to the poor and the needy among us. It's called matanot le'evyonim, or gifts to the poor. The Megillah, the scroll is opened and it's read. The entire book is read of Esther. The Megillah, or the book of Esther, is the main part of the day. It is considered a great mitzvah to read the entire Megillah on this day. If you actually read and sit there to read and hear the entire Megillah, it's considered a great mitzvah, a great, great command and act of obedience that you'll fulfill. Just to sit there and listen to the whole Megillah.
Whole 10 chapters.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now, of course, we're commanded, as we saw here in Esther, chapter 9. If you look quickly back to, I believe it's verse number 22 or 20, and go back to 22, that these should be days of feasting. What's feasting without food? Can you have a feast without food? No. Very difficult. We have a few of those when people forget to bring food. Okay, we have a few feasts without food. But technically it's not supposed to be that way. Technically you're supposed to have food on the feasts. So eating and drinking is very important on this day. The miracle of Purim came through a feast, wine. Remember Vashti, the original queen, downfall. Haman's downfall came through wine feasts where they were drinking wine. There is also an unbiblical custom of drinking until the person is intoxicated. As the sages teach us, a person is obligated to drink on Purim until he no longer knows the difference between cursed Haman and blessed Mordechai. Now, let me say something to you. Let me say something. The rest of the year, the traditional rabbis who don't believe in Yeshua, Orthodox, frown upon intoxication. Intoxication is a very unhealthy thing. In other words, to drink wine is okay, but to be intoxicated is not okay. And so any of these rabbis, 364 days a year, will rebuke you for being intoxicated or for drinking excessively. We're not talking about drinking at the feasts. We're talking about drinking excessively. But on Purim, the rabbi not only will not rebuke the Israelite who is drinking until he can't tell the difference between cursed Haman and blessed Mordechai, the rabbi will be drunk also. So in Judaism, if there's a rabbi who's sober on Purim, he's not a rabbi. Now I'm not telling you that you should do this. I'm telling you the way of the house of Judah. Now your job as a Ephraim, joining Judah, is just to show up and join us. And look past our stupidity and our craziness, because we're buzzed. Okay, this is the days that the rabbis teach us to get buzzed. Okay? So if you're a fan and you don't like people getting intoxicated, and you don't like people acting irreverently, then this is a day to come join us. Just come join us and just go with the flow. Now, I'm not encouraging anybody to get drunk, and I'm not encouraging anybody to drink. I'm just saying this is what is done in traditional Judaism. Okay, I'm not telling you. Okay, so Beltrami, don't get any ideas.
But no flash around the book.
He's already playing. That's even more reason to be on the best behavior. That's even more reason. Only kidding. Don't worry. So please, we don't encourage intoxication. Okay, although for the feast, wine is certainly permitted. And I won't be drunk, because how else can I make for you? Otherwise, I'm the one that'll be going down into the water. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The Scroll of Esther is the only book, interesting, and many of you know this, that does not mention the name of Yahweh. It's the only book in the Bible that does not mention the name of Yahweh. You know why? Because Yahweh wants you to see his hand and not his face, not his name. The hand